I actually originally was setting out to become a conductor. I was getting my master's degree in music, in conducting,
Wow.
but to pay my way through grad school, I started teaching local neighborhood kids piano. And I fell in love with it. My original vision was to just have a local school, train some teachers in my method. But the business model of a music school is tough. The profit margins were thin. And so going online was like, is there a way we could scale this more? This was deliberately an attempt to see if we could do a broader business market. Our revenue is about $2 million a year. Right now, we have about 6,000 paying subscribers. And then on top of that, we have about 10,000 who have bought lifetime memberships.
Hello and welcome to the Art of Selling Online Courses. We're here to share winning strategies and secret hacks from top performers in the online course industry. My name's John Ainsworth and today's guest is Joseph Hoffman. Joseph is a founder of Hoffman Academy and the creator of the Hoffman method for piano. He's now a YouTube personality, Kodai certified music educator, and former faculty member at BYU School of Music. He's dedicated his professional life to developing an innovative new piano method, along with a host of online tools and games and resources that make learning the piano fun. His online piano lessons have reached over 200,000 students across 115 countries, transforming the way that piano education is accessed worldwide. Joseph, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
So who are you helping? Is it mostly beginners? Is it more kids? Like who's is it adults? Like who's taking the lessons from you?
Our core audience is kids, and we have found that, a lot of beginners. And I've been delighted to see that teens and adults have enjoyed the program as well. But certainly my core audience is elementary age kids.
It's really interesting. I've interviewed a few people who are teaching piano on the podcast, including, do you know Josh Wright?
The name's familiar.
He used to be a classical pianist at a competitive level. So he'd travel around the world competing in these competitions. He was saying to me, I wasn't winning, but I was in the room. I was in the room with the best pianists in the world. And he's teaching how do you play Rachmaninoff, something. I don't know anything about piano, classical music, but and then I interviewed someone else the other day who was really focused on people over 55. How come for you it's kids? Is that what you used to do? Did you used to teach in person?
Yes.
Younger?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I actually originally was setting out to become a conductor. I was getting my master's degree in music, in conducting, but to pay my way through grad school, I started teaching local neighborhood kids piano. And I fell in love with it and decided to pivot my master's degree more into a piano pedagogy focused degree. And
I don't know what that word means. Pedagogy.
Pedagogy is just the art of teaching. That's what's often used. If you're a music major and you want to study teaching music, it's called a pedagogy degree.
Pedagogy. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And so you kind of started from there, and then did you start making YouTube videos at that point, or was that later? Or
no, because this was over 20 years ago. I don't think YouTube was even a thing yet. But
how old is YouTube? Wait a minute.
I don't know. Okay. Well,
I think maybe
right around that time. Yeah.
Oh, it turned 20 on February 14th, 2025. So
there we go.
Hypothetically possible.
Yes. But I was definitely not ready at that time to start posting because I did not know what I was doing. I feel like there was so much trial and error, but I quickly realized I wanted to create my own piano method because in experimenting with different methods, none of them did everything I wanted to do. Having gone through being a music major at the university, I realized I was so behind in certain skills, like my ear skills. I'd been raised with the John Thompson piano method, which a lot of people of my generation were brought up with. And it's very focused on sight reading and learning to read notes from the page, but it didn't train my ear at all. It didn't train me to improvise. And I was meeting people who were jazz trained who could just play circles around me on that front. And I was like, why not have a method that taught all those core skills that the great musicians of the past, like Bach and Mozart, they were not just composers, they were improvisers. And improvisation shouldn't just be something that jazz musicians do. And so I wanted to make a method that was more holistic, and that led me to create my own method, start my own music school. And then the online portion kind of came as just a wild experiment that I had no idea. I didn't even know that it would be possible to teach kids piano online without interacting one-on-one with them.
So what's different about the way that you're teaching that allows you to teach improvisation as well as sight reading and whatever else is involved?
It's just getting them started from the beginning. Like the very first song I teach is Hot Cross Buns. And then in lesson number 2, I say, okay, now we're going to mess around with this. You're going to play
Nice.
Hot Cross Buns and now take those same 3 notes and now you make up a melody. And it's not hard when you just start from the beginning and you get them comfortable with experimenting. Just like if you learn French, you don't just want to memorize French poems. You want to learn to speak it spontaneously.
Turn up at the train station and start reciting.
Right. Yeah. You need to be able to have a spontaneous conversation to consider yourself fluent. And I think music is no different.
It's one of the things I love in, so I play bass, and when I play a lot of blues rock, and blues rock is very heavy on, you can mess around with it a lot, which I love.
Yeah.
Like, as long as it's something in the scale,
Right.
something in the arpeggio, and you can try it, right? You don't even have to remember for definite, wait a minute, what is the blues minor scale for C? It's like, you can just go, well, let me try that sound, and how does that sound? As long as
Right.
you're hitting certain root notes,
Yep.
everything else you can kind of mess around with a
That's
bit.
improvising. Yeah. It's a natural part of your genre, but not classical piano.
Yeah. And I think when I'd started learning, I was like, oh, I must learn exactly the way everything is written, because
Right.
that's the proper way of doing it. And then when my teacher told me you're allowed to do this, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is so much fun. That's good.
Sometimes you just need permission. My piano
Yeah.
teacher growing up never even said the word improvise or never even mentioned like, oh, yeah, you could try different notes if you want to. Never
So
even came up.
when did you start on YouTube? When were you ready for that?
My first experimental video was posted in 2010.
Oh, okay. So it was a while back still. Okay. Yeah. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
finished your masters at that point, or was that during
Yes,
it?
yeah, the master's was done maybe like 3 or 4 years before that. I'd
Okay.
moved to Portland, Oregon to start my music school. My original vision was to just have a local school, train some teachers in my method. But
Yeah.
the business model of a music school is tough. The profit margins were thin. And so going online was like, is there a way we could scale this more? I
Is
just
that
wanted
what
to see.
your starting point with it was when you were going online? Because a lot of people I talk to, the reason I ask, a lot of people I talk to, they started posting YouTube videos so that their students could watch them online. And then they just found other people were watching them, and it kind of grew from there. But it sounds like you were a little bit more deliberate when you were going online.
Yeah, no, this was deliberately an attempt to see if we could do a broader business market. In fact, I was very hesitant to tell my local students about this at first. I was kind of keeping it hush hush because I didn't want to lose students. Like, oh, I could just watch you online for free. I'll drop lessons and just do it this other way. I was a little bit nervous about it at first, but eventually I found that it was good marketing for finding new students. And so I eventually started freely telling everyone about it and found that my own students could make even faster progress when they were coming to me live once a week, but then learning more at home. Sometimes they'd come to a lesson like, oh, I already learned this song. I watched you online. I'm like, great, let's go to the next one. And we like doubled our progress.
What was your original plan from a business model point of view? Were you hoping to sell lessons online, or were you hoping to sell online courses at that point when you started?
In those days, I read a few books and was really enamored with the freemium business model concept, Google and the internet. I mean, it was still kind of the early-ish years of figuring out how to do an online business. And I just saw the power of free and how fast you could grow an audience if you gave away at least the core part of your offering for free. That's how Facebook was growing. It was how, all the big companies were growing with this freemium model. So I thought to myself, well, you can't compete. Well, it's hard to compete with free. And so if I just give away all the video content for free and I can sell because I'd created my own method, I had intellectual property in terms of sheet music and downloads that I could sell as one-offs. So I was able to use the marketing angle that, imagine going to a piano teacher and them saying, I'm going to give you free lessons. All you got to do is pay for the books. And that was my angle from the start.
Nice. And what's the model now? Like, how much do people get for free? What do they pay for and how much they pay for it?
Yeah, I've decided to stick with that model largely. The video content is all 100% free. There's no paywall in front of the video content. And then we have what's called a premium membership. And with premium, you get all of the sheet music. We have music theory worksheets that go along with each unit of study. And then we've also added a library of games. These are online interactive games that help train various music theory skills. And there's a handful of other tools as well, something we call practice sessions, which is basically a guided step-by-step, hey, play this, then practice this, then try this scale. And after every video lesson, it gives you a curated guide to your practicing. That's also part of premium.
And how much does the premium cost?
Premium is $24 a month.
Okay, so cheap. And is there a higher tier as well than that, or is that
Nope, just the one tier.
Okay, cool. And how long do people tend to stick around?
I would say if you sign up for a monthly plan, on average, or the median user is about 8 to 9 months. But then we also try and upsell people to a yearly plan, which saves them. You basically get 2 months for free if you sign up for a yearly. And sometimes that goes on sale where you can save even more. Our yearly people renew at about a 50% renewal rate. So once we get them on a year, sometimes they'll stick around for years. And then we also have a lifetime plan as well.
One of the things that is great about selling to lessons to kids is the person who's paying wants them to do it sometimes more than the person who's doing it. So it's like, I used to see this with, I used to work doing marketing for sports clubs, like a kickboxing club, for example. So a friend of mine ran a kickboxing club, and it was aimed squarely at kids. And he was like, as far as the parents are concerned, it's great because they've got somewhere they go and they drop them off, and then they're not got to be in charge of them for an hour or whatever it is, and it's like at the end of that, then they'll come and get them afterwards. And I was like, and I was like, how long do people stick around? And he was like, just like from when they're 6 till when they're 16. A lot of them. It's like, that's
pretty brilliant.
That's nice. Downsides to it, right? But that's a massive plus. Okay, so if they're averaging 50%, then it's like, okay, it's like maybe 18 months or something like that is the average, or 2 years, or I can't quite do the maths in my head of it, but that's great. And what percentage of people do upsell to the yearly plan?
From the monthly, it's our users split about 50-50 between monthly and yearly currently.
Okay. And I know you'd said that one of the things you're working on is how do you get more people to go from the free one to the premium? What's the kind of conversion?
The conversion has dropped. It's been interesting. I have a fabulous SEO expert on our team, and he's succeeded in almost doubling just our website traffic. But unfortunately, it hasn't necessarily been the right kind of people, because our premium signups have been about the same as they've always been. And so we've got some questions to figure out around that. Historically, so before this big boost, we used to convert 10% of our free users into premium users, but now that's down to more like 5 or 6%. We're getting a lot more traffic. We have a great blog team. I think what's happening is we're getting a lot more adult learners. And when they see that our program is geared for kids, I feel like they're like, maybe this isn't for me, because we have some blog articles that rank really well. And I think it's a lot of probably adult self-learners who are finding these kind of articles.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, one of the things with SEO, and I'm a long way from being an SEO expert, but there's certain very high intent keywords that if you rank well for, they're a perfect fit, right? With the thing that the person is searching for and what it is that you're offering. And then there's lower intent keywords, or ones that are aimed at a slightly different audience or something, where you'll get some of the right people, but actually a lot of people are coming in a bit broader or a bit more top of funnel and a bit interested in like, I'm just kind of checking it out, rather than I am ready, I'm primed and I'm kind of ready to go.
Right.
Interesting. How much of your focus is on, I know you got a good sized YouTube channel as well. Like, what's your kind of focus between the different traffic sources?
Yeah, our company's always been mostly focused on organic search. That's always been our number one, been very focused on SEO from day one. I took SEO workshops and really just tried to religiously follow all the advice I was getting on that front. And then number two has been YouTube. YouTube's been a big driver of our traffic as well.
Is that YouTube search or is that discovery, or do you know what the kind of mixture is between those?
I'm not super familiar with the mix on
No? Okay. All
how
right.
people are finding us on YouTube.
What's next for you? What are you working on in 2026?
In 2026, we are working on upgrading some of our core features, how people find our lessons. I'm trying to make it more friendly for adult learners to jump in. We've had a very numerical, like unit 1, unit 2, we go all the way up to unit 18. And so I feel like sometimes people, wait, can I jump in at unit 16? So we're trying to make it easier to just browse and search for different content and jump in. Because some of my later lessons are absolutely geared towards any age. It's only like the first couple of units that are very obviously for kids. So trying to make it a little bit more modern in terms of searchability on our own web app. And then next up is expand my game library. I want to create a new tier that's a games only tier because we're finding this is one of our competitive edges and advantages. When I look at our competitors, most of them don't have these kinds of music theory learning games as part of their learning platform. And so I'd like to lean into that even more, expand that and make it a games only package for people who maybe don't want to use my piano method, but maybe you're a teacher who already has a method they love, but they want to give their students an opportunity to grow their music theory skills with some fun online games.
Nice. I had my first. Do you know the term vibe coding?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I should just explain for anybody in the audience who isn't familiar with this. So vibe coding is basically, you don't write any code yourself. You just talk to ChatGPT or
Right.
Claude or Claude Code or whatever you're using, and it will write all the code for you. So I had my first experience with vibe coding, building a game for learning music, because I was like, on playing bass, you learn. Instead of sheet music, a lot of times it's with tabs. And so that shows, press the 3rd fret on the 2nd string, and you don't know what note each of these actually are. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't keep playing this without knowing where all the notes are. And I was like, how can I learn this? I was like, I know that my brain really likes games. I love games. So if I play a game of it, I'll become addicted and then I'll learn it and it'll be very simple. And so I told ChatGPT to write me a game that would test me on where each of the notes were. So like, okay, play G on the 2nd string, for example. And then I was like, but if it's going to give me all of them in one go, it'll be overwhelming. So then I got it to like dial it down to just one note to start with, and then add another note in, and add another note in. I was like, it suggested making a leaderboard. And I was like, that's a fun idea. So I could try and beat my previous best score for how quickly I could do it. I was like, well, then it needs to add a timer in. And then I was like, I'm getting frustrated because every time that I play the note, I know that I've got it right, but I've got to press space to get to the next one. So then I got it to set up the microphone so it was listening to me to play. And I was just like, after I'd built all of that, I was like, this is so much fun. This is like no problem at all learning any of this. So I love that you're teaching through games. Was that part of your initial hypothesis from your masters when you were first learning, or is that something you've kind of figured out along the way since then?
I knew I wanted it to be fun. I would get these students who, after 6 months with some other teacher and their parents brought them to me to try and save them, like they already wanted to quit after 6 months. I'm like, whoa, there's something wrong. Because I would see these kids who love music. I knew they loved music because they'd come in and say, I heard this song on the radio. And like, they didn't want to learn Bach and Mozart. They wanted to learn the music they loved, and they wanted to play games and hear stories. And, like you said, everyone loves a game. You're not unique. As humans, we want to play. We want to have fun. We want to be entertained. And so why not teach in a fun way? So yeah, that's always been part of my philosophy.
Nice. And so you'd mentioned that you have been like working on how to, or you want to convert more free users to premium members. Is that something you have been putting effort into? Have you been trying different things with that to see kind of what would work? Or is that just you've noticed that the percentage has gone down over time?
Well, absolutely. I'm a big believer in experimenting, and so we're always trying new things. We usually would put our yearly membership plans on sale historically, but we've tried something recently where we'll offer 50% off your first 3 months of a monthly plan. We've
Hmm.
tried like 30-day free trials, which I know is pretty common in a lot of industries, especially on the online spaces. And for some reason, that did not work very well for us. Like we'd see a little boost, but they would drop before the actual payments kicked in. But doing 3 months at 50% off actually did seem to work really well. So it's a lot of experimenting with different offers, and yeah, we want to keep experimenting.
And who are you selling to? Are you selling to the parents? Are you selling
Yes,
to kids who
yeah.
get the parents on board? Like, how does it work?
It's definitely the parents that we're selling to. And that's been tricky with our email because maybe 15 to 20% of our audience are adult self-learners. How do we word it? Like if we say your child and they're like, no, I'm learning for me. So trying to navigate those different audiences. And that's another future plan, is to start to segment our email list better. It's double the work to write 2 different emails, one for adults, one for parents. So part of it is like trying to make the language generic enough, but also some of it's going to be more deliberate segmenting. Ask people when they onboard, we need to do a better job of this as well. Ask them, how are you learning? Are you a piano teacher? Are you an adult learning for yourself? Or are you learning with a child in your home? And that will allow us to segment our emails a lot better.
Have you started asking that, or that's something you're thinking of doing?
Something I'm thinking of doing. There are
Okay.
other ways we've been able to figure that out, but no, we don't ask that up front. We do ask if they're a piano teacher. We do have a separate
Okay.
segment for piano teachers, but for just adults learning for themselves, we don't have that data currently.
So there's a couple of places that you can ask that get the highest percentage of responses. The simplest one is if you have a lead magnet, or maybe when someone creates their free account, the confirmation page after that is the place that you'll get like the highest conversion
Mm,
rate. People actually telling you. It's normally about 70%. Depends on exactly how many questions you've got and how you've got it set up, but like often it's about 70%.
You're saying ask that question on the confirmation page itself.
Yeah,
So
unless
you
you're
don't
already
add it
selling on that page.
before to create extra friction. You want to get them signed up and then ask that for the
Yeah,
very
yeah,
next step.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, um,
I like that.
if you've got a lead magnet and they add their name and email, let's say, you could have it as a drop down question on the lead magnet sign up page. That would also work. And you'd have to test, well, okay, how many less lead magnet signups are we getting because of that? Is it,
Mm,
if it's only 10% less, it might be worth it because you've
yeah.
got that important information. But then if you leave it exactly as it is and just on the confirmation page, ask that survey, ask those questions, then you'll probably get like 70-ish% of people will fill it in. It depends. That page is very valuable straight after someone signed up for something free, because that's the time when they're most likely to then buy something. So you've got to then kind of wait. I don't know what it's used for at the moment, but if you're currently selling something on that page, then it's like, oh no, maybe leave it. Maybe leave it. I'm having a look now, just trying to sign up for your. Is the main thing you have as the getting someone's email address? Is that the sign up for the free
Yeah,
academy?
that just basically, right.
Trying out
Well,
signing up.
we have 2 levels. If you, for example, we have a lot of free resources in our digital store, like charts with like all the piano chords. That's another area where we give a lot away for free, a lot of these reference guides. That just adds you to our email list, but it doesn't create an
Okay.
account. If you
Yeah.
want to actually have an account where we'll track your progress through all the video lessons, that's a separate, even higher layer.
Okay. Yeah. So let me share screen a sec here, and I'll show you. I'll describe. If you're just listening to the podcast, I will describe what we're kind of looking at. So I've gone to basically gone to your website, and I've clicked to create a free account. And this is what I'm seeing on the confirmation page after I put in my name, email, and password, is the set up the student profile. So if this is like an absolute essential element that you don't want to mess with, fine. But if you put the survey here, you'd get a lot of people telling you, are you an adult learner, or are you Are you a parent, or whatever questions you might want to ask them.
And that could
That's
feel really natural right here, because if they're a parent, they're going to set up student profiles differently than if you're just an adult learner. You don't really need student profiles. You are the student. So that could be a really natural place for that.
Yeah, it could fit in with the same, like it wouldn't be necessarily like a separate type form or something. Could fit in with your whole flow that you've got set up here. I don't know how easy or difficult that is to change, but that would give you the information, and then you'd know who was which,
Right.
for a very high percentage of people.
Yeah, I love that.
But yeah, you could do the same thing with after your lead magnet on the from YouTube, which a lot of times that page isn't used for anything. A lot of people just have it say, "Thank you for signing up for this resource. We've emailed it to you," or something like that.
Right.
If instead of that, you either sell something, or in your case, maybe have this survey that enriches your data, that would work well. If you do an email out to your list asking people for this, the conversion rate, if they have to click through and then fill in the survey, is like 3 to 5% maybe
Yeah.
of your list if you're lucky,
Yeah. So it won't take you very far.
No, this is like, that makes it tricky. So the thing that you can do there that does increase conversions, does get you more data at that point, is, do you know a tool called Write Message?
No.
It's from a guy called Brennan Dunn. It's a software business, and he's been on the podcast before. He also sells courses, and it basically is for this purpose. It's to try and allow you to enrich your data in a lot of different places, and then use it to personalize your emails, or even your website. It can even be that it shows different headline on the website or a different testimonial depending on which segment somebody is in. So what they've got is a whole load of little tools to try and make this easier. So for example, someone clicks a link in the email, rather than having to fill in the survey, they just go, "This is for me," or "I am a parent," or something like that. And it would update their profile in your email marketing system. Or you have like a little pop-up on the homepage that comes up when someone's visiting it, and it knows this person is an email subscriber because of cookies behind the scenes. And then they click there's only two questions: I'm want to learn myself, or I'm a parent, or I'm a teacher. Maybe it's those three, right?
Right.
And whichever one they click, that then updates their data, and it never shows them that question again. Lots of little things like that. What the conversion rate is on that, I don't know, but that's basically their whole shtick. That's their focus, is helping you to do that. And I know Brennan personally as well. He's really he's a good guy. It's a good quality piece of software, and I've heard good things from others about it. I haven't used it myself.
I will check that out. It's called Write Message.
Write Message, yeah. I think it's writemessage.com. I'm just going to go check now.
Okay, great.
Find, for anyone who's interested, I'm going to find what episode Brennan was on. So it's a while ago. 49, Brennan Dunn's tips for launching a course. Okay, cool. So we've talked through a little bit about the way that you've been kind of trying to convert people over. Have you got any other ideas for these? You said you want to run more experiments. Have you got ideas for what experiments you might run in the next year?
Yeah, I'm always trying to get inspiration from other companies. And one thing, I was using Duolingo to get ready for a trip to Mexico that I was taking last year. And I kept noticing pretty often, annoyingly so. In fact, they would give me this ad to upgrade to Duolingo Plus. And eventually I did actually succumb and,
just to make it go away.
Yes. And so I was like, I wonder if we should be more annoying. Like, once you're in your free plan, let's say you've made that choice, every time they watch a video for free on my website, I could be playing a little 20-second commercial.
Yeah.
Right. So having a pop-up commercial that just gets inserted in the middle of a flow of one of my video lessons. I know we find ads annoying, but that's a reminder, like, hey, you're getting this for free. You can upgrade, and we can tell them, like, they were telling me all the extra things I would get with Duolingo Plus, or whatever they call their upgrade level. Super Duolingo, maybe. Anyway, they, it worked for me. And so that's another experiment I'd like to try, is just rolling little ads in the middle of the video lessons themselves.
I think one thing that holds people back from doing that kind of thing sometimes is the worry about being annoying or salesy or whatever. And I think it's totally valid, even if you did it as an annoying way. Then I think it's totally valid, because it's like, well, you're getting this stuff for free. but you know, this is, so we have the right to tell you about the upgrade. But one thing I like is, how can you find a way to do it in a way that's helpful? You know, like, as in, someone finishes a video on a certain thing and it's like, I hope this video about X, or, you know, you don't want to do an ad for every single video that you've got in your whole system, but like, you know, on X topic or whatever has been useful. If you want more help with it, and we've also got
Yeah.
available in the premium upgrade. You don't have to say, if you don't want that stuff, that's fine or anything, but you can kind of implying it as if you want this, if you want to know about it, then that might be nice for you. And the best place I've ever seen this was, there was my ex girlfriend at the time. She was taking a marketing course for something, and it was made up of a lot of little mini courses, but it was almost like a choose your own adventure. So there'd be like, there's 3 ways that you built this thing. Now there's 3 ways that you could be promoting it, through webinars, or through a sales page, or through something else. And so at the end of the module about building the thing, she would be talking, the instructor would basically be doing the upsell in the paid thing that you've just paid for, but it was right at the end, and it made total sense.
Yeah.
It was like, well, you finished that. How are you going to want to do this next thing? Well, the ways to do that are this or this or this. And I've got courses on each of those. So you choose which is right and then go get that. And I was just like, oh, yeah, of course, naturally. And it didn't feel at all aggressive or anything. It felt really helpful, and it made a whole load of sales. So then I took that, and then that's something that we do with our clients as well now.
Yeah, I think in my mind, that's perfect, ideal marketing. When it feels natural, it's like, of course I would want that.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Nice. All right. So if somebody is listening to this and they're like, this is fantastic, I actually would love to go just check out what you're doing, either because they want to learn piano, or because they are just interested in kind of the way you're running things, where can they go? What's your website? What's your YouTube?
Our website is hoffmanacademy.com, and our YouTube is also Hoffman Academy. And that's how you can find us on all the socials. Our handle is always Hoffman Academy.
One thing actually I did forget, I did want to ask you about, is like, how big is the business now? Like, how big's your team? How many students you got? If you're happy, then sharing revenue as well, but that's up to you.
Sure. Our team is about 15 employees. It's a mix of full-time and part-time. We have 4 full-time software engineers on our team now, working on various website features. The games take, that's some intense kind of coding work. And we have a graphic designer, and then curriculum designers on our team as well. And our revenue is about $2 million a year right now. And as far as students on the premium, the paid level plan, we have about 6,000 paying subscribers. And then on top of that, we have about 10,000 who have bought lifetime membership. So when you buy lifetime now, we're not going to get any more money from you. But those are users who continue to come to our website, and, we consider them part of the family as well now for life.
How much do you sell that for?
When it's not on sale, it goes for $795 US, and we will put that on sale for about $500.
Okay, so about like 2 years worth of
It is, yes.
Okay.
Right. Depending on, whether it's on sale or not. When it's at full price, it's closer to 3 years worth. But those are very popular sales. When that goes on sale, that's one of our biggest sales of the year. People like the idea of not having to pay a subscription, where I think everyone has more subscriptions than they want these days. So the lifetime is a very popular product.
I went through my business bank account, I don't know, 6 months or something ago, and just was like, oh, I need to just check if I'm paying for anything that I'm not using. I really was.
Oh, it's scary. That happened to me just last week too. I was like, wait, what is this charge? I never canceled that.
I found an ex-client from the agency that had we'd signed up for their subscription when we were checking something, and I was like, oh no, I've been paying for guitar lessons that I'm never going to take for 2 years. And I messaged them, and thank goodness they refunded that.
Wow. Sometimes I won't even bother to reach out. Maybe I should try. Like sometimes they'll work with you.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, this is somebody I knew personally, so it's a
okay.
little different
Yeah.
to like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I found I was spending at least £600 a month on this. I was like, oh my God, that's so much money,
Yeah.
like 7 grand a year. That's just like not in my bank
Goodbye.
account.
Right.
It's just,
Yep. It
oh.
happens to all of us.
This has been fantastic. I love what you're doing. I think this is absolutely excellent.
Thank you.
Really, really appreciate you coming on today and sharing your wisdom and your story with everybody.
It's been
And
my pleasure.
thank you so much. As always, thanks so much for listening. Really, really appreciate you guys. And we'll see you next time.